Hello guys, Arkan here. I just want to take some time to tell you guys that we have a Patreon set up for the channel. It's an additional way you can support us. So I will put the link in the YouTube cards and in the description. Thanks for checking it out and I hope you enjoyed the video. The character's notes has been unlocked and updated. I want to check that out. So where do we check that out? Characters. About myself. Description. A new human named Feenyx falls through the cracks of time into the world of Grimm and finding himself in the midst of a struggle against an evil rampaging the woods of Wolfshire. His life is a mystery before coming to the world, but he hopes his new friendship to the Alpha Wolf makes him feel more at home. His weight is light. He is 5'8". Bowers is 7'5", question mark, exclamation point. Bowers is the alpha of the pack who harbors a secret that others do not know. A kind-hearted but firm leader, he takes it upon himself to protect both his pack and the human he found. Hawke, or Hawks, there's an S here now. Hawke, the sage of Wolfshire Alpha Pack, came into their lives some time before Feenyx arrives. A man wrapped in mystery, he struck a chord with Bowers to be a valuable resource to the pack, being what's believed to be the last living sage in the world. The man, while coming soft and sweet, tends to be hardened when it comes to people not healing properly. Okay, my notes. He has a big round belly. Wonder if it's a good pillow. For a wolf, his muzzle is big. Would he let me boop it? Oh, Feenyx's notes are so funny. He has big hands, and they feel warm whenever he touches me, and rough. He has a cutesy face, not to mention his smile. He seems generous. I wonder... He's less chubby than Bowers. I wonder how soft it is. He got a good knife on his right leg. Atollus socks? For protection, maybe? Unknown. Okay, so let's go back. Blackness. At first peaceful, but then I feel something. Something that shouldn't be here. I try to move, but like before, nothing responds. Again, it's like I don't even have a body. And yet I feel so helpless, so trapped. In the endless void, a distant figure manifests on the horizon. Just observing it sends dread pulsing through me, and I want it to go away. I'm not usually afraid of the dark, but this space just feels so unsafe, like the blackness was trying to suffocate me. And then I hear something. A sound or a sensation of some kind echoed through the void. But it's unclear, like there's static, or like it's both muffled and yet also slipping in and out of tune. I try to yell, to tell it to go away, or at least speak up, but I can't make a sound. Zhurk said Zhurk Jai. The darkness presses on me from every direction, and I try to scream, to swear, to something. I feel myself being crushed under the weight of nothing. But as quickly as the darkness came, it parts. The black fades to a warmish gray as I hear the sound of my name.
Nix! Feenyx!
I feel my knee being held by an enormous hand, giving it a careful jostle. Light quickly comes back to my eyes. A new CG artwork has been unlocked. Gah! I snap awake hard, like I had been stabbed, before instantly realizing I'd just been dreaming, and letting out a low groan of exhaustion. Oh. Nightmares. Fun. Me and unconsciousness are gonna need to have a long talk if this shit keeps up. I give a huge yawn, wanting to just go back to sleep, but there's a wolf standing over me, looking pretty concerned. Hey, Bowers. Is everything okay? Bowers looks fairly incredulous at that. You tell me. You're the one who was writhing and whimpering in your sleep. Are you alright? Are your injuries hurting? Has a wound opened up? What? No, no, no. I'm fine. Nothing's damaged any more than last night. Bowers sighs deeply, his shoulders untensing. Don't scare me like that, okay? I give a playful scoff. It's not like I was trying to, you know? Bowers folds his arms, clearly feeling a bit uncomfortable. Anyway, are you feeling any better? Something about the way he says that makes it feel like he's trying to change the subject, and I decide I'm fine with that. I carefully sit up, twisting my torso this way and that, moving my arms. My bones creak and pop, but in a good way, like it's a good pain, the kind that tells you that things are moving to where they're supposed to be. There's definitely an unpleasant, dull ache, but no sharp pains like there had been a few hours ago. Just the idea that I was healing this quickly, and with the aid of magic of all things, was absolutely bonkers. I'd heard and dreamt about magic thousands of times, but to actually have real magic performed on me, and to feel its effects was honestly too much to even fully process at that moment. And still it seemed best to not appear too surprised by that, given how casually Hawke had done it last night. Yeah, I think I'm a little better. Moving doesn't hurt as much. Bowers frowned at that. But it still hurts, huh? I don't get it. Hawke's magic usually works so fast. Oh, right. But he did say that sunlight and a good meal should help you heal faster. Do you think you can walk? Honestly, I don't feel like doing much of anything at the moment. If I had my choice, I'd be staying in bed for another 8 hours. But it's kind of hard to say no to a giant werewolf, especially after kicking them out of their own bed for the night. Yeah, let me try. I turned myself towards the edge of the bed, pushing myself a little too hard, the pain telling me to slow it down as I let out a small yelp. Bowers automatically reaches out to me, before hesitating, as if a little worried that if he touches me, I might break all over again. I take a few slow breaths, before working my legs off the side of the bed, my feet soon dangling a couple inches off the floor. Jeez, Bowers must be pretty huge if this is his bed. I pull myself forward, trying to reach my toes down to find the floor. Bowers steps right in, taking a firm, sure hold of my arm and shoulder, helping me down and onto my feet. Despite his strength, his touch is soft and gentle. Thank you. Bowers just nods, letting me go at first, but then offering me his hand for support. I don't really trust my body much right now. Honestly, I also don't think I could say no to such a gentlemanly offer. I put my hand in the werewolf's, the sensation actually catching me off guard. I hadn't touched it directly before, and so was expecting the pad of his hand to be rough, but instead it's shockingly soft. Like a velvety squishy thing, it's honestly hard to not immediately rub my fingers right into it. Oh wow. Nothing. Just nice to be on my feet again. He doesn't press the matter as I get my shoes back on. He then leads me to the door, going at my pace. Alright, here we go. The air outside of the cottage smells so fresh, so clean, and my body instantly feels lighter as the warmth of the sun washes over me. The world is green in every direction. The sky is filled with the music of morning birdsong. I breathe in and out. It's quite beautiful here. Of course it is. We're surrounded by nature, as we ought to be. I just lose myself in the moment, taking it all in. Bowers just watches me with a bit of a bemused expression. Oh, by the way, what time is it? I'd considered checking my phone, but again, I have the odd feeling that I shouldn't be turning that on right now. Plus, I have no idea if the time on it is accurate. I'm honestly a little scared to check it. For a number of reasons. It's nearly midday. You were asleep for a good while. I'm glad. You needed it. He says that, but now I just feel embarrassed. I can't explain why, but it just feels disrespectful to oversleep in a stranger's bed. Before I can reply, a loud rumble echoes from my stomach. It seems like it also just realized what time it was. Bowers lets out a hearty laugh. Sounds like someone's found their appetite. That's good. A hearty meal'll help you recover. I look up at him, feeling a bit sheepish. Yes, please. Also, can I ask you something? Fire away, pup. Why are you being so nice to me? I don't think he expected to hear that. He shifts uncomfortably, face going a little red. Well, I mean, it's like I said, I'm the alpha. It's my duty to protect people and keep them safe. And it's not like I trust ya or anything yet, but still, you haven't done anything to harm me or the pack. If that changes, well, I think by now you know that won't go over well for you. Besides, I'm just setting things right. I can't not take care of you after the whole... He gestures at my torso. Bones thing. I don't think I could live with myself. Despite the half-threat, I still found myself smiling at that. That's kinda sweet, in its own way. The werewolf folds his arms tighter, his tail quite determinedly stiff, but his ear flicking like he's feeling more than he wants to let on. Alright, enough of that. Let's walk a couple times around the house so your body doesn't forget how to move while you're healing. Can that happen? I don't know, but I don't feel like finding out. Hawke says you're an anomaly, so I'm ready for nothing to be normal about you. Your confidence is reassuring. He chuckles, and so do I. We start to meander around the house, and I try to get a good look at the town, but all I can see is a path and a few other cottages. We turn the corner, and against the outer walls there are a number of wildflowers, with the bees dutifully poking their heads into them. I thought we were gonna eat. Sunlight first, food second. Besides, Hawke said he'd be bringing us breakfast. But you said it's almost noon. Then we've both figured out that he's awful late. Do you think he's okay? Hawke? Of course. Either he got as much sleep as you did, or one of the local pups fell out of a tree again. Pups are always getting scraped up. Personally, I think Hawke should make him wait a little longer before healing them up. It just teaches them to be reckless. But Hawke's a soft heart. He can't bear to hear them whimper and cry. I look sideways at Bowers, getting a clear sense that this alpha's heart wasn't exactly made of stone itself. Hey, I'm a pup too, according to you. Bowers scoffs. Because you certainly look like one. How old are you anyway? 17? 18? I'm 22. Yep, still a pup. Now it's my turn to scoff. Yeah? And so how old does that make you? The big wolf's ears fold back at that question. 55. Whoa. Okay. We both go silent for a few moments. Bowers doesn't really look that old to me, but then again it's not like I've seen many other werewolves to compare him to. A werewolf can usually live to 150 if they're smart and careful, so I'm still in my prime, and you're still a pup. I put my hands up in a mock defensive way. Alright, you win, Pops. The big wolf huffs, picking up his pace. Come on, kiddo. Less talky, more walky. Funny how the mind works. I'm talking to a werewolf and had my bones healed with actual magic, and yet the strangest sensation I'm processing right now is how odd it is to walk laps around the house. I think I get it, though. Bowers probably doesn't want to overwhelm me by taking me further into town. Or maybe he just doesn't want the rest of his pack to see the guy he accidentally maimed. After the 4th round, however, Bowers comes to a stop. Finally. He cups his hands around his muzzle, shouting out. Took you long enough. Up the path, I see Hawke making his way toward us, carrying a large basket that looks fairly heavy. He waves to us, and Bowers waves back. Alright, better stoke the fire for him. Let's get back inside. Once we're inside, Bowers begins to toss more wood on the fire's embers. I stretch my arms out, yawning again, before easing myself into one of the chairs around the table. Hawke and Bowers were right. I felt better, looser now after some sunlight and movement. I'm still certainly a ways from a full recovery, but from where I was last night, this is incredible. I watch as the fire springs back to life, Bowers looking satisfied. Hawke lets himself in, nodding kindly to me. Sorry for the hold-up. Astrid was late getting today's eggs in. Bowers gives him a bit of an incredulous look. You had plenty yesterday. Yeah, until I cooked for you. The alpha's ears flatten, and he drops the subject. Who's Astrid? A very kind she-wolf who manages most trade around here, as well as one of the few shops in our shire. You might meet her eventually. Hawke reaches into his basket, unloading a few dark, yeasty loaves of bread. Then a few jars, a couple dozen eggs, and a metal plate filled with thick slices of smoked meat. Fire's ready. I look and see that the fire's light is now dimmed by the installation of a makeshift piece of metal, effectively turning the fireplace into a kind of stove, where the fire can still breathe, but also providing a hot flat surface to work with. My thanks. Hawke retrieves a large pan, wasting no time scooping a thick white substance into it. My nose quickly tells me that it's some kind of animal fat. The sounds of cooking soon fill the cottage, Bowers taking a seat across from me. So, I've been wondering. The big wolf looks at me, and I'm already losing my nerve. But I'm just too curious to not ask. Have you always been a werewolf? The feel of the air shifts immediately. I can tell I hit a sore spot, and the tension in Bowers' haunches proves it. And yet, quick as he tensed, he tries to untense, clearly doing his best to be a good host. No, I had another life before this one. But that is a private question, pup. In our shire, we accept all werewolves who want to live their lives in peace. Save for the whelps, all of us found this life through tragedy, and we are not in the practice of opening old wounds. It is why we have shown you that same respect, even though you are not a werewolf. I look down, swallowing. I'm pretty certain the two of them probably have hundreds of questions for me that I'm not at all ready to answer. You know he meant no offense, Bowers. The huge wolf leans back in his chair, looking up at the ceiling and letting out a long breath of air. Yeah, I know, Hawke. Thanks. Would you prefer I tell him? No, I wouldn't. It's not your story to tell. The tension in the air is palpable, and for a long moment we're all silent. Bowers' tail is twitching with agitation, and I'm unsure if I should just stay quiet or apologize. Fine. But I'm gonna need a drink for this. He gets up and moves to a corner of the kitchen, returning with a flagon of what smells like a heady apple cider. It isn't even the afternoon, Bowers. My house, my cider, my choice. He tips the flagon back, chugging the entire thing in one go. It's kind of mesmerizing watching his throat expand and contract with each gulp. It's like it somehow makes his existence seem even more real. Looking much more at ease, Bowers leans back in his chair and rolls his shoulders. So... His eyes go big and he turns his head to the side, covering his maw with his forearm as he lets out an impressive belch that makes Hawke jump. Oh, that's... So, a lifetime ago, I was a knight. Strong, dependable, honorable, all that. I lived my life for my people and fought for a life worth living. I was good, too. Nobody could best me in single combat, but I wasn't built with the best stomach for a slaughter. I could disarm, disable, capture, and detain better than anyone else, but I never got comfortable with taking another person's life. So they made me the knight commander for all of the kingdom of Camelot. I nearly choke on my spit hearing that word. Camelot? Ah, so you've heard of that, at least. There was that feeling again that I should choose my words carefully. Sure, I mean, who hasn't? Bowers looks pleased to hear that, but for a moment I could have sworn that Hawke had been staring at me. I oversaw the training of all new recruits, having my own as well to practice and perfect the art of training with. It was hard for me. They were pure and innocent, and many of them were orphans looking for a place to make a difference. You can't unsee your first decapitation. You can't just forget witnessing someone's entrails spill out of them. I can feel my appetite fading, and the smell of cooking meat isn't helping. Yet, that's what I had to prepare them for, and no matter how hard I tried, it never got any easier. I was given an order to oversee at a small fort near a town. Training had gone as smoothly as it could, until one night. The older wolf takes a long, slow breath. A beast came over the wall, just right over it like it was hardly a hurdle. He tore through my men like they were paper. And the whole time I thought he was barking, or braying, or howling in a strange way. I now know that he was laughing, like he chose to attack our fort just because he could, because it was something to do. I can see he's shaking a little, and I'm honestly regretting asking him about this. They were trying to protect me because I was the highest ranked officer, and after they had all fallen, the beast decided that instead of killing me, he would turn me into this. Bowers gestures to himself pointedly, before letting his arm fall and taking a few slow, calming breaths. And so I swore to myself that night, never again. I would never be anywhere but the front line. I would protect and shield others from the horrors of the world. And every day I see my reflection, I feel my tail, I touch my fur, and I remind myself of what I've sworn. Silence follows his words, leaving me to take in what he said. Hawke steps in, his features calm and respectful. And you've kept your word. The lighter wolf sets a large plate before Bowers. Half a dozen over-easy eggs and crispy smoked meat ooze their flavor into thick slices of toasted bread. He then places an equally full plate in front of me before taking a seat with his own. But please, for now, let's eat. Regret weighs heavily on an empty stomach. Utensils in hand, we dig in. After that story, I really don't feel like eating, but after just one bite. Sweet mother of fuck, that's good! While the whites of the eggs are cooked through, the yolk is tantalizingly ruddy and a gorgeous deep golden orange. They taste like the ickiest egg I've ever eaten. The bread is flavorful and naturally sweet, having a hearty crunch to it all the way to the last chew. And the meat is so savory with just the right amount of salt to make everything harmonize so perfectly in every mouthful. It's also fresh and scrumptious. Now I understand where Bowers' gut had come from. For a few minutes, the only sounds to hear are all of us eating with ravenous vigor. I had clearly been starving, and this was my oasis. Bowers finishes first, leaning back and patting his belly, before remembering his manners and getting Hawke and I some water. It's not long before Hawke finishes too, both of them having cleared their plates while I had only managed a quarter of mine. Once you've had some time to eat your fill and digest a little, we can head to the village. I don't know where you're from, but your clothes do not look like they're built for any kind of real work. That is, if you intend to stay. I forced myself to swallow the big bite in my mouth before answering. Stay? You're not our prisoner, and all are welcome here, but if you will be staying, we will want you to help. The nearby village is a human settlement. Should you wish to return to your kind, you're free to. Either way, you'll need new clothes if you're gonna help out here. And don't worry about the cost. Unless your phone can produce money, we're both pretty sure you're flat broke. I feel a mix of emotions in my chest and stomach. A nearby village might mean I can rejoin society, but will it be the society I know? Do I even want to return to it? I can't make that decision right now. Thank you. I'll also want to check on your recovery soon. I perk up at that, looking up from my plate. Oh, that reminds me. I almost blurt a question out before realizing how it might sound if I choose my words poorly. You're a sage, right? I wanted to ask what magic is like for a sage. Oh, well, how to put this? The tawny wolf looks a bit put on the spot. Sages aren't too different from most magic users. I guess, do you know what a fighting style is? Yeah? It's like that. Much like how two warriors can have different ways they wield the same sword, there are different ways to weave magic. None of them is necessarily better or worse than any other. Bowers lets out a rough, dry laugh before saying the next word a little sing-songy. Liar. Hawke's ears flatten, and he groans in frustration. Ugh, stuff it, you. Sages approach magic more like a craft, an art. We are more interested in having a conversation with the magic than just ordering it around. Yes, I believe you get better, more consistent results that way, but the sage approach doesn't work best for everyone. Sagacity is broken into 5 elements, and the one that resonates with me is the wind. Wind is the element of change, subtlety, and versatility. While you don't have the destructive power of fire, earth, or lightning, nor the healing aptitude of water, wind is really only limited by your creativity. I'm reeling at how casual of a subject this is for him, and I'm eager to know more. Do you have to do a lot of magic as a sage? I watch in real time as Hawke's whole body looks tired hearing that. Well, aside from being the only one in our pack trusted enough to be a healer, I am needed for certain repairs that hammers can't fix. I also have to regularly perform enchantments in order to ensure the safety and prosperity of the village. Prosperity? Yes, prosperity, such as, The wolf quickly scans the room before his eyes find my plate. Eggs. You see how many eggs we can eat? Do you imagine that we have the hundreds of chickens it would take to feed us all? I shrug. I haven't seen the Wolfshire, so I wouldn't know. I have to enchant all the chickens a few ways, and one is that they will eat countless insects instead of grain. This way we can have them out in the field eating bugs and beetles, protecting our yield, but also producing far more eggs than they normally would. That's another enchantment. Wait, you can enchant actual animals? Hawke gestures vaguely in the air, looking for the right way to explain things. Enchant, bless, curse, it's a lot of different words for the same central kind of thing. You're altering the way a living thing works that is different from how it would otherwise behave. It's a very delicate art, and you have to be extremely careful with it. Bowers leans in, covering the side of his mouth facing Hawke with an open hand, as if sharing some kind of secret. He exploded the first chicken he tried it on. It was my first time. I'd never worked the spell before, and half the pack was staring at me. He turned the poor hen into a cloud of feathers. It was hilarious. Maybe for you. We stuffed this pillow with them. I couldn't help but laugh at that. At the same time, I have a lot to learn about magic. It certainly sounds like something a person shouldn't carelessly screw around with. I don't care much to get exploded myself. I'm trying my best, okay? So leave off. Sorry that I'll never be a champion. Bowers' mood flips at that word. Oh, moon's light. Not this again. Champion? Don't encourage him. Legendary humans said to come from another world. It's said that while they came from a world with no magic, they arrived here attuned to the ether like they could breathe magic. And how that all evolved into a literal witch hunt. I know. Everyone knows. Fun story. It's an interesting story. And you keep forgetting that I grew up in Camelot. Bowers gestures to me and my half-finished plate. You've eaten plenty. If we let Hawke get talking, we won't make it to the shops before they close. Hawke gives a look of mock offense. Oh, money forbid I get between the man and his new pair of pants. Fine, I'll clean up here, but at least get something that actually looks good on him. Sure, let's go. Bowers makes his way to the front door, intent on leading me out, but I instead turn to Hawke and give a bit of a bow, unsure of what the proper formal action is in this situation. Thank you for the wonderful meal. At that, Bowers also seems to remember his manners. Right, right. Thank you for going to all this trouble. Of course, but you will let me examine him when he gets back. Just promise me you won't sit on him or anything until then. Just stuff it, will ya? Hawke chortles at that. It seems he's a pro at getting the last word. We stepped clear of the cottage, and I look back. Goodbye, Hawke. Take care, Feenyx. May the moon guide you to your destined fate. I feel a chill go up my spine at those words, and I don't know why. Even though Hawke is giving a friendly smile, there's something about it that makes me feel cold, even with the sunlight on my face. I look away quickly, scratching my head. He hadn't said or done anything problematic, so why do I feel so shaken? It takes a moment for my breathing to steady, Bowers and I starting in earnest down the path. A sense of dread settles on me, and my mind is pulled back to the past. My past. And I am struck with the possibility that all of it, my world, my life, my everything, was gone. Hey guys, I'm Romiz, a programmer and a UI artist. I hope you enjoyed this demo of Under the Full Bright Moon. It was really interesting to see these characters' interaction alongside with the plot. Yes, I fully agree with that. Seeing the interaction between Feenyx, Hawke, and Bowers was really fun. I'd love to thank the invaluable teammates who have contributed to this game. You can look them up or click their names. Crispy writes as creator/writer of this game, KEVSKY as co-writer/background artist/character artist/CG artist/UI assistant. These characters are also owned by KEVSKY, and Dodoki as an assistant writer/copy editor. The special promotional artworks are made by Arteomm and Dimmed Lights. The beautiful music that you heard is made by Hawke, or Pokey, I'm not sure. Free-to-use sound effects provided by Freesound and YouTube. Additional sound effects from www.zapsplat.com. 1,000 thank yous to our followers and Patreon supporters. You guys mean the world to us. From here, the project will be on hiatus as KEVSKY needs a break for personal reasons. Oh, that's sad, but we have to be understanding. Follow our Twitter and Patreon for any updates on UTFBM and KEVSKY. You can also follow my Twitter page for progress on our other projects. Thank you again for your support, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. I forgot one last thing. Patreon followers will have access to early builds, behind-the-scenes content, and be the first to be updated on all our projects. Again, thank you for playing! Okay, so that was the demo for Under the Full Bright Moon. I liked it very much. I think the characters introduced, the three characters introduced, the main character, Bowers and Hawke, I thought they were all cute. By cute, I mean likable. They were likable, especially Bowers. At the start, I thought he was, very cold and mean and serious. But when Feenyx woke up after sleeping the first time in his bed and he was being caring, and I saw his soft side, it was kind of nice, and it was heartwarming for me. And Hawke, I also like his character. He's like the wise, friendly guy. And Feenyx, his name is very unique. A unique spelling of Feenyx, Phoenix, and they talked about legendary humans who could attune and breathe magic, who came from a world with no magic. And I have the strong suspicion that Feenyx is that kind of human. What was the word they used? Champion, yeah. I think Feenyx is a champion. Just my theory. What do you think? And also, I really like that Bowers and Hawke aren't the usual, super fit guys with abs, showcasing some kind of body positivity there, showing that men don't have to have abs so they can be hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I also like abs. I like seeing abs, but not everyone has them. So you can have a belly and you can still be hot and huggable too. You don't need to have abs. What about you? Do you think guys need to have abs to be hot? Comment down below and let me know what you think. And also let me know what you thought about this demo. Did you like it or not? And with that, if you guys liked what I did, I hope you could leave me a like on this video and maybe subscribe if you haven't yet. And I want you guys to take some time to appreciate something in your life today. And I will see you on the next Let's Read. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!